It's never too early to start figuring out economy and optimization in a game like Unicorn Overlord, and today I have 10 tips for you on how you can do just that, especially if you're a new player or you're still in the early game. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman, and welcome back to the channel.
Unicorn Overlord.
Hello everyone, if you enjoy what I do, my coverage of Unicorn Overlord, guides, let's play coverage, news, etc., or just my gaming stuff in general, a like on this video and a subscription to the channel would be very much appreciated. Thank you so very much. Starting off fast and simple here. Number 1, prioritize port towns for upgrades early on to unlock island access and free items. If you did not know, as you upgrade different towns and villages, different perks will become available to you. Walled cities will give you access to taverns, and port cities, or port towns, will give you access to, well, their port. Why do you want access to this? Well, originally I thought that it would mean you would get access to other parts of the continent earlier by, sailing across the sea and entering the land of the beasts, or the angels, or the elves, or what have you. But no, that's not quite how it works here. How it actually works is it gives you access to islands, small areas that you can go to where you might find little side quests, or other towns you can upgrade and buy items from, or just special items that you can pick up, divine shards, consumables, cool gear, etc., etc. Seeing as how you want to be upgrading your towns anyway to get other benefits, something that we will be talking about later on in the video, it really behooves you to get these port towns online early so you can get access to these other little benefits that they can provide for you with really no cost. From what we've seen thus far in the early game, there's no enemies to fight here, there's no extra danger you're going to be walking into, it's literally just free resources, so go get them. Speaking of which, number 2, acquire the golden egg immediately and do not sell it. What is the golden egg? Well, the golden egg is one of those special items that you can get from a side quest on an island. Specifically, the very first port town that you come to at the start of the game can be upgraded to immediately return to the starter island where the story begins. Here you'll find 2 different towns which have a bunch of really nice gear that you can buy, some consumables, divine shards, things to pick up like we previously mentioned, but most importantly, a little side quest to wrangle some chickens, of all things. This is an extremely easy quest. You talk to this fine gentleman here and go around and gather up his 4 chickens that will desperately try to flee from you, but in all of your skilled, well-trained warrior grace, you can easily scoop them up and return them to their master. And when you do, he gives you, some honors, some other stuff, and the golden egg. The golden egg is an incredibly powerful accessory that gives the unit that it is equipped in, doesn't matter who in the unit it's equipped to, just so long as it's someone in that unit, a 100% increase to the amount of gold that they earn in battle. This stacks up so incredibly fast. If you take this and equip it on your strongest squad, typically in the early game going to be whatever unit that Joseph happens to be in, you will be maximizing your gold income in a way that you probably didn't even realize was possible. Now, you may be tempted to sell it. 30,000 gold right off the bat seems very, very tempting, and there will be some guides out there that suggest that you do this early to buy some powerful gear, but trust me, you do not need to. With just the golden egg alone, you will be able to get so much gold so quickly, so long as the squad that you have it equipped in is doing the majority of the slaying. And seeing as how you want to be focusing on a couple of different units, again, something we'll talk about here soon, this is a great way to really maximize your gold income. So use it. I promise you. You will get so much more of a gain out of using it than selling it. Speaking of getting plenty of gold and also maybe getting some XP, utilize the Plunder and XP increase Valor skills whenever possible. Much like with the golden egg, early economy boosts of this kind are vital, especially with the availability of magical gear in every shop, as well as powerful accessories that give new abilities, etc., etc. The Plunder Valor skill in particular comes from your thieves and costs a measly 1 point. Very, very easy to get, even just by retreating one of your units that you've deployed. And you'll steal a fairly sizable chunk of change from any squad that you use it on. I've seen as little as 380, which is not a ton, but certainly not bad, to upwards of 1,200 gold per plunder. And seeing as how you can steal from literally every unit on a given map, including reinforcements, this can stack up really, really fast. Especially in the early game where you don't really need to be using Valor skills as often to deal damage or heal or move around or what have you. You can just very easily have one squad with a thief pickpocketing the entire enemy army and doubling your money. Seriously, I've gone from 8,000 gold to 15,000 gold in one mission before, just from the end of mission gold reward, killing enemies, and then plundering everything before we kill them. It's so very, very useful. As far as XP is concerned, that is where units like Elaine comes in. For a measly 2 Valor, he can double the amount of XP that one of your units will get in battle. This is something you should definitely be trying to do, especially before you defeat a boss or whatever unit it is that's garrisoning a particular town, mini bosses, stuff like that, as you will get huge gains. I've had units gain 2 or 3 levels from taking out one of these boss squads with this boost active and getting a massive jump in power as a result. Highly recommend that you use these 2 Valor skills early. They should really be your priority. Number 4, use powerful units like Joseph and Oclise to level underpowered units quickly. Especially in the early game, your formations and tactics really are not your primary focus. Leveling your units and earning gold, as we've been talking about, are. Now, by rotating new characters through Joseph and later Angel Oclise's units, you can have these powerful warriors serve as mentors and guides to your lobbies, getting them powered up and helping them learn some of their later game skills. Seeing as how if you're using my golden egg suggestion, you're going to be using Joseph for combat a lot anyway. If you slap 2 or 3 little guys into his squad and let them get some big levels quick, you'll be doing double duty for what you wanted to be doing for getting your money anyway. So, highly recommend this. There will be people out there who tell you, oh, don't use Joseph. He's a crutch. He's just there for game journos to use to beat the game easier. No. If that's what you think about Joseph, you have a vast misunderstanding of how this game is designed and how Jagans in these types of games are meant to be used in general. Use your Jagans. Use Joseph. I have a whole video about this you can watch if you want to know more about my opinions on this and how best to use Joseph, but trust me on this. Let these guys level your units up for you. You'll be very happy that you did. Speaking of Valor skills, though, circling back to that point, don't be afraid to use your Hallowed Corn Ash to restore your Valor points. If you didn't know, Hallowed Corn Ash is sort of your rewind mechanic-ish, if you're familiar with some of the newer Fire Emblem games, wherein if you lose a mission, either because all of your units are wiped out, or your HQ is taken, or you run out of time, you can use the Hallowed Corn Ash, and your units will be revived, your timer will be refilled, enemies will be knocked off of your HQ, and you can keep fighting. It's a good way to make sure that if something unexpected happens, you don't just have to restart the entire mission, which is nice. However, if you find yourself in a position where you haven't really needed to use your Hallowed Corn Ash in this way, and it's just kind of stacking up in your inventory, you can actually consume them to gain 2 Valor points per use. This is huge. This is such a nice way of being able to deploy extra units, use Valor skills to deal damage to enemies, or, if you're focusing on maxing out your economy, as you probably are, getting extra plunders and extra XP boosts. Now, of course, you don't want to use them all. You want to keep some on hand to save yourself from bad situations for a rainy day. Of course, that's very important, but don't be afraid to use these to get some extra boosts, especially early. Number 6, don't burn all of your money on recruit gear. Recruit weapons and shields seem really good when you first see them in the shop, and don't get me wrong, they are. Not only are they an upgrade to your basic gear, but they give your units a boost to your XP as well. A 20% boost in most cases, in fact. However, this gear gets outclassed very, very quickly. You get a ton of XP as it is between battles and item boosters, and you really want to save your money where you can to buy the previously mentioned powerful items. Things like special blades that give you a new attack, or accessories that can give you boosts to your various damage types, or even accessories that can just straight up give you more active and passive points. Like, there's better stuff to be spending your money on, and you'll get a decent amount of recruit gear just from doing missions and completing battles anyway. So you get an upgrade here and there, sure, if someone needs it, but don't burn all your money on kitting everyone out in recruit gear. Number 7, take the time to fight the mock battle MPCs to earn 2,000 gold a pop. If you've seen these mercenaries standing around on the world map with a little yellow sword icon above their head, you may have done some fights with them and realized, oh, well, this is just a way to see what a new unit type does in combat and test my skills, see how my squads perform against them. And while that's true, they have another purpose as well. It turns out, if you're actually able to defeat these squads in one round of combat before the encounter ends, you will earn yourself a tidy 2,000 gold apiece. This is awesome. I mean, 2,000 gold is just an item upgrade. It's a lot of the accessories that you can buy cost 2k, and seeing as how there's a ton of these battles scattered around the map, you can earn yourself a pretty penny just by going through and sweeping them up. You don't have to do this in any particular time frame either. You can let them sit there as long as you want and come back with an end game squad if you wanted to and just crush them instantaneously. But of course, once you've gotten to that point, you probably don't need the gold anyway. So just once you've gotten a good power boost, maybe consider going back to some of these towns and forts that you passed up prior and just clean these guys up for a tidy little profit. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Number 8, don't burn all of your honors opening all of your unit slots. Especially in the early game, you don't need access to all 10. When going through and upgrading your units, you might notice that, well, you can just open up all of these unit slots pretty early on for like 10, 15 honors a pop. That's pretty good. You can have more versatility of units. You can kind of spread your units around, or kind of spread your characters around, I should say, and get a versatility of power going. Like, it's not bad, right? You don't need that many units, especially early in the game. Really, you should focus instead on a core squad of, I would say, no more than 5 or 6, and make those particular units as strong as possible. As you go through and upgrade your various units, the honor costs associated increase fast, so I would recommend building taller, not wider, by ensuring that all of your units have the maximum number of characters you're allowed at any given time. I mean, think about it. Most stages, you can only deploy 3 to 4 units at the very beginning anyway, and then as you start earning valor from defeating enemy units, taking garrisons, picking up items, you're going to be using that for valor skills, especially things like Plunder, early on, as opposed to deploying more units. Like, yeah, you might deploy an extra one here and there, but you're not going to need your entire army on every single battlefield. By making sure that the units that you do deploy are as strong as possible, you're going to make your life infinitely easier. For example, at Renown Rank C, you're able to upgrade to 4 characters in a unit, but each upgrade costs 50 honor just for that upgrade, not even considering all of the upgrades that came prior to it. So that's really the goal that you should be shooting for, especially as you approach Rank C. Getting to 4 characters in a unit is a massive power boost. It means that you can be leveling more characters, you'll be able to win fights more easily. It's just all around a W for you. But after that, there's another upgrade to look out for that you want to be saving those honors for. Number 9, save up honors to promote your characters. Promotions are unlocked at Renown Rank B, and also, from what we've seen, cost 50 honors a pop. Once you've got your core units upgraded to those 4 character slots, you want to start saving to promote your best fighters. The promotion abilities and increases to AP and PP are very, very strong and will dramatically improve your capabilities. But again, 50 honors is a lot. So rather than going wide and opening up all 10 unit slots, trying to get them all up to like 3 or 4 guys per unit, get your savings going so that way you can get Elaine his horse, or get your fighters some more useful abilities, or just make characters even more capable, like upgraded shamans, more abilities, more passive points, more ways to curse your enemies. Yes, please. I really would like that. So focus on getting those promotions online, and you'll be happy that you did. Finally, with number 10, how do you manage to get so many honors, though? Obviously, there's a lot that you need to spend them on, and if things get so expensive so quick, how are you expected to keep up? Well, one key thing that you can do for yourself is not to forget to go back and upgrade all of your liberated towns. Whenever you liberate a town on the world map, or a city as well, you're able to deliver resources to it to get it upgraded. Basic towns can be upgraded to rank 1, whereas cities, from what we've seen, can go up to rank 3. And each of these upgrades that you do, even just the incremental steps, not even a full layer, but just each individual delivery, will give you a nice chunk of honors, money, and items. By dumping resources into these towns, especially ones that you've bypassed before because you didn't have the resources, you can suddenly get a big boost to your honor count and start doing some of these upgrades that we're talking about. It can be hard to come by some of the needed materials in the early game, but you will be rolling in them faster than you expect, especially if you're being diligent about exploring the world map. So take the chance to fast travel to any town you haven't finished deliveries for, top them off, and start rolling in the honors. Oh, and while you're there, don't forget to leave a town guard once you've upgraded a town. It's free, has no impact on your army, and it'll periodically earn you money and collect the upgrade materials from the region for you so you can keep snowballing and upgrading more towns. And heck, I mean, if you're really rolling in delivery materials, you can keep donating them to towns for even more honors, though that's going to be more of a late game thing, I think. Like, once you've wrapped up the majority of a continent and you have a bunch of its resources just sitting there ready to be used, then maybe consider going back to some towns and just donating stuff for some free upgrades. It'll be good, but you want to make sure that you get your base upgrades done first before you start just farming honors. And that, my friends, is my first 10 tips for you for maximizing your econ, your unit growth, and overall your material effectiveness in Unicorn Overlord. Next up, we're going to have some unit build guides, and then an 8, maybe even 10, we'll see, tips for combat, and plenty of other stuff, so I hope you stick around for that, and I hope that this helped you out. If you have any further questions about the mechanics of Unicorn Overlord, how best to maximize your econ, your upgrades, anything like that, or there's a topic that you'd like to see me cover, drop it in the comments below, or join the Discord and suggest it there, and I'll do my best to address any and all questions you have. Until the next time, though, my name has been Tom, otherwise known as Titanium Legman. I hope you all have a good night. Stay safe and healthy out there. And remember, be good to each other. Bye now.